This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
All right, looks like we're on live once again. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. Hope everybody's having a good time and enjoy and just ready for the weekend. So how's everybody doing? I don't know who all's in tonight. I guess we got one other person watching besides me, maybe. I don't know. What I decided to do tonight, I decided to just hang out and chat about some of our favorite things. And some of my favorite things are Masters of the Universe and Warlord and superpowers right now. And recently, Todd McFarlane came in and he decided that he was going to do some superpowers. Hey, Lee, what's going on, man? Good to see you in. Still working on those customs. Hey, speaking of customs, oh, everything fell. All right, here we go. I got iguana here that I made recently. I decided to get him a shield. I got him a shield from off of eBay so that he could have a little shield to go on him. Hey, Orko, what's going on, Orko? Sorry you couldn't join me tonight. I was going to show off some of your figures, but I'd rather wait and have you on the show so we can look at those figures together. Bunch of stuff fell on the desk here. I got a desk cam going. I'm going to put it on in just a minute and show off some of my stuff that I decided to bring out of the old closet. I got some few things here that I wanted to kind of show off. Let's see if that desk cam will work. Oh, let's try this. Testing the desk cam audio. Is it on now? Tell me if you can hear me. Everybody hearing me okay on the desk cam, hopefully. Anyway, this was originally going to be a play set that Kenner was going to produce for the Superpowers line, and it never got produced. And it was also this doesn't work up here at the top, but this was supposed to flip so that it could also be a jail. But when Pat made his repro, he didn't fix that so that it flipped. It's just a solid piece on top. But it came unpainted, unfinished, and I had to paint it and paint the fire hydrant, paint the bottom. I tried to make it look as much like what the original set was going to look like as I possibly could. But anyway, it's all painted up. And originally the action feature worked with a push button right here. This panel would push and would make the figure flip around. But I set up a knob on top so that I could turn it around, and got Clark Kent in there now. And the knob is up on top, and it's made with just a piece of bead that I put onto the stick that's coming out of the top so that it's easier to turn it. And you can turn it around like that right there. I had another one of these that I had painted up a little bit differently. Thanks, Lee. I appreciate that. It looked a little more realistic. The sidewalk was gray and everything, but I kind of like this one better because it looks like what the actual toy would have looked like. So I actually gave that one to Grindhead Jim. I hope he's still got it and enjoying it. Anyway, that's one of my customs that I have. Another thing that we can think about doing is it's not necessarily a custom, but we can find different toys that actually work with our action figures. And I found this Robin cycle. See if we can see that a little better. It actually came with a static Robin figure that sat on top of it. It was made out of kind of a rubbery plastic, and he had a cape billowing out that was solid. And I was able to get him off of that cycle because he's just the right size for a Superpowers Robin figure to ride. He can fit on it and everything. So when you're outfitting your Batcave and you want a Robin cycle in there, find one of these right here, and that will work for you. Thought I would show that off. And as you can see over here on the side, I've got my Joker mobile. I'm going to try to move everything around a little bit and see if I can't get that Joker mobile where you can see it. If my audio just cuts out or anything, it's because of this little audio small microphone that I'm using over here. But let's move some of these guys out of the way for just a minute. Bring that Joker mobile on camera. Move you over here out of the way. See if we can see that. How's that look, guys? And the Joker's sitting inside of it, driving it, and he's got a big Joker symbol on the front. That Joker head came from a Joker cycle that came from the Dark Knight collection, and he actually pops off. I fixed it where it would actually shoot off. I didn't want to shoot it off, but as you can see, it actually fits in the front. This was actually made from the Shadows car. So let me see if I can get that to go back in there. Oh, there we go. Oops. There. He's all fixed back up. Yeah, this was a shadow car for the shadow figure line. and I repainted it, added the head on the front. Inside, you can see that there's a G.I. Joe seat that he's sitting on that came from a G.I. Joe accessory. But I kind of cut it down so that the top would actually close. And when you close the top, you can pull up the back part. I'm thinking about painting the back part, but I haven't done it yet. But anyway, that's the Joker Mobile with the Joker inside of it. What do you guys think about that? And I'm gonna change cams here. There we go. So what do y'all think about all of that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Some of my customs that I decided to bring out of the superpowers closet that I've got in the other room. I've got so much stuff in my house that it's in closets. It's filling up my junk room here. It's kind of a mess. Lee Custom says that's really nice stuff. Orco 8283 says that's a great custom. Thanks, Orco. Appreciate that. Wow, says Lee Customs. Yeah, I like to work on stuff when I can. I don't have as much free time as I used to because of my job, so I kind of just do what I can. I've been wanting to do some more videos for the channel here, but I just haven't had a chance. But I do plan on getting that done here pretty soon. So how have you guys been doing? Lee says he's working on some heads. That's great to hear. A Conan head. I can't wait to see that. By the way, if any of you guys want to join the chat and join me online, I'm gonna once again paste the StreamYard link. If you want to hop on, I'll let you come on the show and just hang out with me and chat about the things that you like. I was going to make a video about Warlord, but I just haven't had a chance to put it all together. So that's one of the things I plan on doing. I've been tracking my package. It's coming from France. It's got a Warlord, a reproduction Warlord sword and Warlord vinyl cape in it. And it has just now made it to the United States, but it hasn't made it to me yet. And when that comes in, I'll be glad to show that off to you guys. The other day, I actually made made it onto another live stream, the Super Awesome Geek Show, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came up, and I remembered this figure from a long, long time ago, and I knew I had it in a box somewhere, and I was able to get it out and show it off. It is April O'Neil as a hooker. She even has little ankle bracelets. That's the hooker April O'Neil figure with her little mini skirt and her real hair and everything. Kind of a weird kid toy, but when I was stationed in Huntsville, Alabama, they had a circus world in the downtown mall, and I used to go and hang out in there when I got a chance to. And that figure just happened to be on the shelf one day, and I gravitated toward it and got it. Big grown man buying a little figure like this with her little doll-like head. Kind of neat. Lee says, I keep seeing those Aprils carded recently. Orko says, love to join you on the show, Bill, but you know what I've got going on? I do, and we appreciate you, sir. We really do. Yeah, that April. I don't even know. Was that April ever in any of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoons or anything? I don't remember because I wasn't watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I remember when the independent comic came out, black and white, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it exploded. And I remember getting a couple of issues of that. And then suddenly it became a cartoon show on TV. And of course, in the comic, they all looked exactly alike. There was no way to tell them apart. But they had to do something on the cartoon show so you could tell them apart. So that's when they got their different colored masks and everything. I remember that. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. Like I said, I want to do all these videos, but I don't have time. And when you're doing stop motion videos, it takes a lot of time because you have to take a lot of pictures and put them all together. Pope says she was going deep undercover with that outfit. She was going deep somewhere with doing something. I don't know, but I think you might be on to something there, Pope. Good to see you, Pope. As far as I'm aware, April never appeared in that design. I didn't think she did. I don't know who decided to come up with that design, but whoever it was, they needed to be fired. Orko says, hi, I've got every version of those Aprils. I've watched the Turtles for a long time, but I never recalled seeing her dressed like that. I don't either, but like I said, I never watched the cartoon. Yeah. So what I'd like to do, I've shown you some of my favorite things, and we've talked about some of my favorite things. What are some of your favorite toys besides Masters of the Universe? I mean, Masters of the Universe is what got us all started in on this channel, but let's think about some other things. For instance, I'll show you one of my favorite things. I'm going to go get him and bring him on the channel. He is Dr. Deadly. Here he is in all of his bald-headed, nasty-looking glory. Is Dr. Deadly with his gash on his forehead, and he's got a beaker of something in his hand there. He's got pants and shoes. This is it's a model figure, and I had to actually paint this guy after I put him together, and he's got a little bit of articulation, and his head moves. But you can actually change out his arms. I've got extra arms and everything for him. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. I'm a big fan of the Incredible Crash dummies. I know it's not a particularly popular. I remember those. They started out as a PSA commercial where the crash dummies were trying to get you to wear your seatbelts, and they would show you what would happen if you didn't. And everybody liked them so much, and then suddenly they became toys. And I don't know if they had a cartoon show. Lee, do you know if they had a cartoon show? Let us know. Pope says, oh man, I forgot about those. Talking about the crash dummies. Yeah, those were pretty cool. I think Junkman, he did crash dummies one time on his show. I think they even had a crash dummy pet, where the pet was all, you could mangle him up in the car or whatever with the little toys. Here, let me show you another custom if I can get her unstuck. She's got some magician's wax on her holding her down, so I'm going to have to unstick her. There we go. Magician's wax is easy to make come loose. Who remembers Vampirella? This is another Monster Scenes figure. It actually came unpainted and unassembled. You have to put her together, and then you have to paint her all up. And that is my Vampy with her little bat on her arm. She's got little boots on. She came with 2 sets of legs so that she could actually ride. Let me show you this guy here. This is the Monster Scenes giant insect. You can see this guy. He's all painted up. And Vampy, there's a saddle on top of him. And Vampy could actually sit in the saddle and she can ride on the giant insect. How about that? We'll put these guys back up where they go. That giant insect, he was also a model kit that you had to put together and paint. All right, baby, we want to stick you back down to the scene. There we go. I've got a whole monster scene set up here in the junk room on display back over there. Let's see, yeah, there was a pilot episode. It was actually incredibly early 3D animation. That's for the crash damage. That's very interesting. There was a dog named Bumper and a cat named Hubcap. Yeah, I remember seeing those on some show. Lee says, nice paintwork. Thanks. Like I said, I used to paint metal miniatures and I learned all the little tricks, so you can dry brush and all that. So, a lot of people think that painting figures is hard, but if you learn those tricks, it's not that hard once you learn how to do it, and you can always cover up your mistakes. Orco8283 says, I'm a huge Motu fan, of course, but other than that, I was into G.I. Joe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Voltron, Thundercats, and Captain Power, and the Soldiers of Fortune. I remember Captain Power vaguely. Was that the one? No, that might have been something different. There was one of those where you get the video and you put it on the TV, and the toy would interact with the video on the TV. Was that Captain Power? Voltron. I remember Voltron. I was a little too old to be buying action figures when Voltron came out. There were two kinds of Voltrons. There was the cats, and then there were the vehicles. I remember those toys. Thundercats, once again, I didn't watch Thundercats. I was a little old for that. But I was big into G.I. Joes. I still got my entire G.I. Joe collection, but it's in storage right now. I was going to sell it at one time, but that sale fell through, so I still have the stuff. And I have several of the vehicles still. I think I even have a Mobat tank. It doesn't work, but I still have it. Yes, sir, that was it. Yep. All right. The show that you could play with your toys with the television set. Yeah. Captain Power. Well, that's kind of what I got going on here. I got a few other things in here. I got some Shogun Warriors up there. I've got some wrestling figures back here. I've got some Doctor Who figures on display. I have if I'll change cameras here. Can you hear me, everybody, on this camera? I hope you can. Just let me know if you can't. But back here behind me, I have a TARDIS playset. And I even made a custom background to go on it so that you could see the interior of the TARDIS. But it's a TARDIS playset that Character Options came out with when the 9th Doctor and the 10th Doctor was out. I've got that going on. Over here, you can see in front of the Shogun Warriors on that shelf there at the very, very top, kind of hard to see on this camera, is a papercraft TARDIS interior that I made for the 12th Doctor. That was the one before the Lady Doctor that's on there now that kind of destroyed the show. But I've got him, that's Peter Capaldi's Doctor. He's sitting up there. And one of these days I'll get that down and let everybody look at it. But I'm afraid to move a lot of things around here in my junk room because when I do, things begin to fall. Audio good, says Orco. Thanks, man. Yeah. When I change the cameras, I have to remember to mute and unmute the mics because if I don't, then it kind of starts an echo going on in the room that kind of destroys the sound of with the chat. I think on my first Clown World live stream, it was a lot of that going on and a lot of me talking, and you couldn't hear anything I was saying. Anyway, has anybody seen the Todd McFarlane is going to be doing superpowers figures? That was something that I wanted to talk about. One of the first ones he's going to do the superpowers version of Batman Hush from the Hush comic book. And they're also going to do Supermobile, but I don't know what version of the Supermobile that was going to be. And a couple other things. I'm not sure who broke that, but I think Geek Dad Life had a live stream last night about it, and I caught a little bit of the first part of that before I had to run and go to bed. So what do you guys think about Todd McFarlane doing superpowers? And what do you think it's going to be like for Todd McFarlane to do the superpowers? Do you think he's going to be Todd McFarlane it all up, or do you think that it's going to be like the old series of superpowers? Just let me know in the chat what you think about that. I kind of have my reservations. I like the guys that were on that live stream last night. I kind of wish that he would keep going with what they had originally planned to do with superpowers that never happened, but I don't think that's what's going to be. Lee Custom says he'd be interested to see if the style fits the vintage. I would too, but I have my reservations. Now, I will say this. I bought the Todd McFarlane Batcave that he did for his Batman 66 figures that came out here recently. The scale is wrong for those figures. All wrong. But it's just right for superpowers. I mean, absolutely spot on, just right for superpowers. So, if you've ever looked at my blog, I made a superpowers Batcave from an old Batcave command center that was the Wayne Manor that they did for the Dark Knight collection. And that was going to be my go-to Batcave for a long time. But now that I have that McFarlane Batcave, it kind of fits better, I think, with superpowers. Tell me what you think about that. Do any of you guys collect any figures other than like that? I was going to show another custom that I did. It's not really much of a custom. But if you remember the Jessica Jones show, they did a Jessica Jones figure for that show. And it didn't have this little wrap around her neck, this little scarf that she has around her neck. And I added that because I thought that it made the figure look better. This actually came off of Jen Uso or Urso that was from the Star Wars. And it had a hood on it, and you take a razor knife and cut the hood off and pop the head and put that on. And it kind of makes Jessica pop a little bit. Orko says he loved his work on Spawn. Yes. Todd McFarlane started out doing Spider-Man, and then he branched out on his own, and Spawn kind of exploded there for a little while, and I guess it was in the late 90s, early 2000s. He even had his own TV show on MTV, a cartoon show, and then they made that movie. I remember the movie. The movie was kind of very much a 90s movie, but it was Spawn. Said that's a good use of a bad scale, a good use out of a bad scale lineup. That's correct. I mean, that I don't know what Todd was thinking or what his company was thinking when they made that Batcave, but it is way out of scale with those figures. But it scales up really nicely with superpowers, like I said. And I was planning on getting some pictures made of that and maybe doing a video on that one day, and I just didn't get a chance to. I I don't know if you guys have ever tried doing a YouTube channel, but it's a learning experience, and it takes a lot of time to do that. And if you don't have it, then you have all these ideas in your head, and sometimes they come to fruition, and sometimes they don't. But the one of the main things I want to do is finish my series on the first 4 mini comments. I really want to get those done. And in order to do that, I've got to get some more props to add to it. Let's see what Lee says. They're a bit of an oddball company. They don't make bad products, just strange things happen like that. Yeah. Well, McFarlane was the one that actually started the modern action figure movement. If you remember, he did a lot of things that were not necessarily made for children when he first started doing his action figure. And he said if he was going to do action figures, he was going to do them right when he started his own company. And I do believe that if it hadn't been for Todd McFarlane Toys, we wouldn't have the modern collector figures that we have today from different companies, even Marvel Legends, NECA, all that stuff. Todd showed that those figures would sell, and they did. But yeah, I want to the last one I have to do, the first one I have to do. And in order to do the first one, I've got to get a Savage He-Man. And I've got a lot of ideas about things that I can use with that. Hello, am I on? You guys hearing me? Am I coming through okay? Is everything coming through okay? Maybe I need to switch cameras. All right, I'm going to switch cameras up here for just a second. Something's going on with my StreamYard. The audio went out. Yeah, something's going on with StreamYard. Hello? Are we there? Can you hear me on this audio over here? Can we hear it? Can we? I've changed cameras and I've unmuted the mic on my regular camera. Are we on? I don't get it. Loud and clear. Okay, so I don't know what's going on over here on the laptop. It says the audio's cut out on my StreamYard on the laptop for some odd reason. Let's see if it's because there we go. Okay, I figured out what was going on. Something has made my audio go out. Let's see if it's back on. I'm gonna switch cameras and see how that works out. I don't know what's going on with what keeps muting my audio. Maybe there's a button on my mic here. I don't know. Is my audio cutting out? Is it working? Let me know in the chat. There it goes again. I don't know what's doing that. It's weird. I don't know what keeps cutting my mic off on the other one, so I'm just gonna go back over here to this camera with the boom mic. If you guys can hear me, let me know. I'm hoping that it's still working. I was going to show a couple of things I got over here on this shelf that I was going to try to modify or perhaps use in a video with He-Man. See, this is Tarzan. Trendmasters did these Tarzan figures a long time ago, but I thought he comes with a spear and a shield, but he just looks like, you know, a jungle guy that would go good in the background as He-Man's waving goodbye to his tribe. And then I found out about those Land of the Lost figures that came out for not the original TV show, but they tried to make it over again in the 90s, I think. And they came out with some figures, and this was one of them, and I thought she would make a great lady to be waving goodbye to He-Man in the background along with Tarzan here. And he originally would yell when you pressed a little button here, but he doesn't yell anymore. I think he's got some batteries in him. I may have to replace those batteries if I haven't already taken them out. I probably took them out to keep them from corroding. But anyway, those are some figures that I had on the shelf over here. I've had the Tarzan figure for a long time. I've got him back when those Trendmaster figures first came out. There was also a television show with Joe Lara at the time. It was kind of an odd TV series, but it tried to stay true to the books, and it was kind of interesting. Orko says audio good now. Yeah, I don't know what keeps cutting my mic off on the the speaker headphones go all the way to mute for some reason, and you turn them back up, and as soon as you start streaming over there, they go down again, and I don't know what was doing that. Something's probably pressing a button, probably on my headphones. I don't know, but every live stream is an adventure. We find out all kinds of different things. Does anybody remember that old Tarzan TV show that had Joe Lara in it? I think Tarzan: The New Adventures. It might have been the name of it. But the company Trendmasters, they also did some Godzilla toys back at that time as well. They did Tarzan, and they also did John Carter of Mars, which was the only time that I'm aware of that a John Carter of Mars figure, Tars Tarkus, and Deja Thoris were actually made. They actually made figures of those, and I have some of those figures. I don't have them all. I think I have a Deja Thoris around here somewhere, but I don't know what I've done with her. But those were some very interesting toys. And I kind of wish I had some more of those, but they're real hard to find. But that Tarzan figure is just excellent. I mean, it's so book accurate. He's even got the locket around his neck that has a picture of his mom and dad in it. Of course, it doesn't open up and show his mom and dad, but that's what that locket was. That was the you could see around his neck. It's kind of interesting that they actually went that far into detail. And the Tarzan figures that Trendmaster did, even though they tried to tie it in with that TV show, were not tied in with the TV show at all. I mean, they were more tied in with the books than the TV show even. And that's not Joe Lara's face on that figure at all. They probably couldn't license his face anyway. And I'm not going to stay on too much longer. Let's see how long I've been on. Probably been on about 30 minutes now. I'm not going to stay on all night long like I did the other night. I was trying to get my daughter to come on and talk about aliens tonight, but she, of course, she's in her late 20s, and she's got other plans tonight, so she couldn't come on. But we're going to get her to come on here one day and talk about her aliens figures and comics and books and everything that she loves about aliens. Yeah, we've been on for about 40 minutes, a little over 40 minutes. Uh, I'm we'll stick around for till the 60-minute mark, and we'll call it a show tonight. But I kind of wanted to show off a few more of my customs and some of the things that I like, and I was getting some of you guys to talk to me. Nobody decided they were going to join me tonight, but that's okay. I can understand that. Orko, he's busy. He's got some things to do. I don't know if he wants me to talk about actually what's going on there, but it's some important work that he's doing, and we appreciate that. And Lee, I'm glad you popped in. I don't think we're going to see Masters Maniac Mexico tonight. He's live streaming right now. He's talking about some of the different things that he did. If you get a chance, run over to his channel. He's got an English version as well as German and Mexican version of his day at the flea market down there, where he rode down there on his motorcycle and he bought a whole bunch of stuff, and then he brought it back to his house and showed it out. But that was a pretty good little adventure, and I kind of popped in for that one for a little while. It was kind of fun. But he's live streaming tonight, talking about some of his toys. I suppose I didn't want to go over there. I wanted to kind of hang out here for a little while and show off some of my stuff. Orko said he's looking forward to the aliens episode. Yeah, if I can get my daughter nailed down, maybe next weekend we can try to get her to come on the show and talk about aliens. She's a big alien freak. Even when she was a little kid, she got into the video collection and watched all the alien movies that I had in my DVD collection and had nightmares forever about it. And it warped her brain to the point where she became a huge aliens fan. And she's got all kinds of stuff at her house. Some of the stuff she doesn't even know a lot about it. She just likes it and wants it. And so she goes out and she gets it. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to see some of the stuff that she's got and get her on here. We'll do that maybe next weekend, hopefully, if we can both coordinate it. That's the problem with all of this, is coordinating everything. As you know, Orko, it's kind of hard, especially when you're like me and I just do things on the fly. It's not necessarily planned anything that I do. I just kind of do it. You know what I mean? I don't know. But like I said, I wanted to come on tonight and kind of show off some of my stuff. If you want me to re-show anything, just let me know in the chat and I'll re-show it. We're probably going to be on for another about 15 minutes. Maybe I'll talk about some of the stuff that I've done as well. Let's see. I'm going to move over to the desk cam here. Put it on the stream. I'm going to unmute that mic. If you look back there, you'll see that background that I use in a lot of my videos back there behind Castle Grayskull. If you're ever wondering what that is, that's actually a tapestry that I bought from Amazon.com. You can buy them in different sizes. You just look up alien sky or alien planet tapestry, and it should show that. And I just thought that looked very Eternia-like and made a great background behind my Castle Grayskull for some of my videos. If anybody was wondering about that, I thought maybe I would show that off real quick. If anybody has any questions about that, let me know. If you think that's a great background, let me know. If you think I should be using something different, let me know. But I would love to hear from you guys what y'all think. Backdrop looks fantastic with Castle Grayskull, says Orko. Yeah, I think it does too. And in some of the videos I've done, I've tried to incorporate that in some of them, and I just think it looks awesome. Like I said, it looks very Eternia to me. I was talking about the series of episodes with the mini comics that I'm doing. One of the things that I'm trying to do is trying to re-show what He-Man was like when I was a kid before the Filmation cartoon came out. That storyline just never went any further than those 4 mini comics. But it was an interesting idea but Filmation took that ball and ran with it, with their treatment. And I think DC Comics might have started that out with their limit mini series as well. It introduced the idea of Prince Adam and being the alter ego of He-Man, and introducing King Randor and Marlena being an Earthling astronaut who crash landed on Eternia. But that was not part of the original storyline. In the original storyline, Eternia and He-Man, it was weird. The planet was war torn because a great war, or a series of great wars, had happened, and it was a war of attrition, which left the civilization in ruins, and everyone had reverted to tribalism, and there were tribes of barbarians on the planet, and He-Man was from a jungle tribe, and Castle Grayskull was this mysterious place of power, and it was one of the repositories of some of that old technology and magic from that time. And during those great wars, rifts had been torn in the fabric of reality, which allowed creatures to come through. And Skeletor was a demon creature from another dimension who came through one of those rifts that had been created during those great wars. And Castle Grayskull was a legendary place that people knew about, but they didn't know where it came from or anything. And as a reader, you weren't to know that either. It was to continuously be a mystery to you. It was just a mysterious fortress where if whoever controlled it could gain the power to rule the planet or even the universe. And Skeletor wanted to get that so that he could rule. And He-Man left his tribe to come out to protect Castle Grayskull. And the planet was sparsely populated. There were people there. Man-at-Arms was from a tribe of people who knew about the technology, and Man-at-Arms was able to drive vehicles that he had created and create weapons and things like that. But he was He-Man's first friend that he met after he had created his house and got his armaments from the sorceress, who was what we call the Green Goddess or the Eternian Goddess, but at the time she was only known as Sorceress, and she was green, and she wore the headdress, the snake headdress. Tila, on the other hand, was the warrior goddess. She wasn't really a goddess, but she had the power of ancient warriors, and she wasn't Man-at-Arms' daughter or adopted daughter or anything like that in those mini comics. She was just a wandering warrior that people had had begun to think of as a goddess, even though she wasn't. But those that all of that happened in those mini comics, and that storyline just kind of moved into the DC Comics storyline when the second wave came out, because actually DC Comics was the ones who did the mini comics for the second wave, which were more like comics than storybooks. Those first four mini comics were actually storybooks written by a fellow by the name of Don Bluth. And they were illustrated by the incomparable Alfredo Alcala, who did such a wonderful job of illustrating those mini comics. The first four mini comics in the original commercial with artwork done by Filmation was outstanding, absolutely. And in that group of mini comics, I also will add that the storybook and record that came with Point Dread, which is also on my channel that you can watch, I kind of include that as well in my thoughts. So the kingdom of Eternia, the kingdom of Eternia, and the palace is a small settlement that's south of Castle Grayskull that He-Man and Man-at-Arms found out about, and found out that King Randor was a good person, and they decided to help him stave off the forces of evil as well. So He-Man kind of has to juggle protecting Castle Grayskull with also helping King Randor protect his kingdom, which is basically a small settlement, very medieval, with a moat keep, maybe, with the keep being the royal palace, pretty much surrounded by a palisade of some sort made of stone. And the guards don't look anything like the Filmation Eternian guards. They look more like medieval soldiers in that mini comic, and I kind of include that idea as well in my mind, doing that. Well, it's getting it's past almost getting close to the top of the hour here, guys. So if you have any questions, ask them now before I get ready to shut everything down. And maybe I can figure out what was going on with my headphones and my mic on that laptop there, and maybe get that issue fixed for next time. And I'm going to get ready to shut everything down. If anybody has anything that they want to add to that, better chime in now, or forever hold your peace. And we'll start thinking about some other things that you might want to ask me or chat with me about, and just shoot me an email and I'll try to do that. It says, Orko says he appreciates your stream tonight, sir. It helps me get through work tonight. Yeah, I can imagine. So is that going to last you all night long? Is the testing that what we talked about earlier? Is that going to last all night long? I hope not. Hope maybe you'll get it done at some point or another. I've got to go hit the sack here in a little while myself and get some rest. I had a long, hard day at work, and I kind of need my rest too. I'm glad you guys showed up, Lee and Orko. It was good to have y'all come in and hang out with me on the chat. try to get one done here pretty soon. Orko says he's going to be wrapping up around midnight tonight. Okay. Well, I'm hoping to be sound asleep by midnight my time here. I'm in the central time zone, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be asleep then. I'm going to try to work on a few videos maybe tomorrow, since I've got a little bit of free time. I might pop up something. So just keep your eyes on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. There may be a few videos coming out in the next few days. Between now and next week, I'm going to try to work on some stuff tomorrow. And the main problem is not only editing that stuff, but also uploading it to YouTube. It can take a long time just to get these things uploaded on YouTube. And then you get it uploaded up there, and then you find out it's copyright struck. So you got to sit there and pull it back down and find out what part of that it was and edit that. But sometimes, as long as it's not a actual copyright strike, it's just a demonetization strike, I'll leave it up usually, because I mean, some of that stuff I don't even know. You know, we're just having fun here. It's not like we're trying to make money off of these people. But anyway, well, we've been on for about 57 minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night and hit the stinger here in just a second. It's good to have you guys on, Orko 8283 and Lee Customs. I'm glad y'all showed up. Maybe next time I do a stream, I can give you everybody a good long time to get prepared, so you know that I'm going to be on, and you can come in. And I hope that you guys that weren't able to show up tonight do catch the restream here in a little while. I'm going to let that happen here too. So good night, everybody, and just have a good time playing with your toys. And I'm going to play the stinger going out. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like and subscribe and share the video. Thank you.